All right, today we're going to be replacing the idle speed motor on a 2000 Ford. It's a Windstar with a 3.8 liter. Underneath the hood, basically, the idle speed motor is right here. When I change the idle speed motor, we're going to replace that with a new one. At the same time, we're going to clean out the throttle plate inside here. I'll show you how to do that too. So let me get some tools, and we're going to get started. And just so you know, the problem with this car here is that the vehicle starts and runs, and it idles fairly decent, but then all of a sudden the idle drops down or stall out. It starts back up, it runs okay, and it continues to stall out. There's no codes in there, which is actually a common problem with an idle speed motor. A lot of times you won't have a code with it. So let me grab some tools, and we're going to replace this motor, and I'll show you how it goes. What we're going to do first is we're going to disconnect this plug right here on the side of the idle speed motor. Fairly easy. You just push this little pin straight in here. It's a lock tab. Push it in and you rock it and it comes right off. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take out this screw, and I'm going to remove this here. Alright. Fairly simple. This is a 10 millimeter bolt on the top here, and as you can see, this doesn't fit in there very good. The angle is actually off, so we're going to get in there with a swivel so we can get it off. So let me put that down and I'll show you how it goes. Once you crack it loose, you can just remove it. Don't lose the nuts. The bolts, I should say, because you're going to need to put them back in with the new idle speed motor. Once you loosen them, you can take them out by hand. They're very easy. Show you real quick. We're going to take this this gasket out right in here, and we're going to replace the gasket with a new one. And this is what the old idle speed motor looks like inside. Now I'm going to take this off over here, and we're going to clean out the throttle plate before it goes back together. What you do is you take the clamp off for the snorkel, and we're going to remove it, get it out of our way a little bit so we have a little more room to work. Pull that out of there like that. Let me show you why. I'm going to clean out the throttle plate. The reason we're going to clean this out is because if you see inside here, this is the throttle plate. You see all that black soot that's inside there around where the throttle plate closes. We got to clean that out of there before we put the new idle speed motor in. So we're going to clean this out with some cleaner, and the way you're going to do that is you're going to put a rag down underneath the bottom right here so you don't get the fluid all over everything. And then we're going to hold this throttle plate open. Obviously, with the engine is not going to be running. Open this up, and then we're going to clean it with a brush. So basically, to clean it, you can use just an old toothbrush or any kind of a brush that's made to clean these out. So let me get the brush and get the fluid, and we're going to get started. As I said, I'll stick a rag down in there to try to catch that fluid so it doesn't get all over the place. I know it's a little difficult to see. I'll do my best to show you what it looks like here. What we're going to do is we're going to use some throttle body injection cleaner, or fuel injection cleaner, and we're going to use a brush to clean it out. So let's just get started here. You just spray a little bit inside the throttle, hold the throttle plate open, and you get in there with a brush, and you can brush it, and it cleans up all of that residual buildup inside there. So this way the new idle speed motor can learn how to idle properly without having the buildup on the plate. Okay, just brush it around a little bit. Try to minimize the amount of stuff, the fluid that you put into it. wipe it out, because it's going to smoke a little bit when you try to start this thing up. One more time, and you put your rag down there. Let's get some of that cleaner in there again. And open the throttle plate up and brush it. And there's a lot of cloth inside here. A lot of this, you can see how dirty this is. I'll show you what it looks like inside. How dirty it is inside too, and you see how dirty it gets. And this is all the stuff that we're going to clean out of there now. Let me show you what it looks like once it's cleaned out inside there. See how clean everything is inside there? Nice and shiny. We're going to do the back of the throttle plate up here just a little bit more to make sure that's clean. And then we're going to get the new idle speed motor in. So let me finish cleaning it up and we'll come right back. Once you have your, you want to put your new valve on, you're going to take this gasket out right here. And you can get in there with anything that's pointy and just pull it right out just like that. And it comes right out. The replacement obviously is fairly easy. You just put it back in the way that you took out the previous one, and you push it down into the grooves that are made for it. Right, push it down all the way like that, and then we're going to lay our valve in there. Just a replacement valve. Put it up on top there, and we're going to catch our bolts. So let me do that, and you can see how it goes. Screw the bolts, always screw them in by hand before you bring a ratchet into it, because you don't want to cross thread it and cause a problem with it. Snug it down, and then you grab your back bolt, and you can install that one also. Screw it in by hand, or if you can't get your hand in there, just put the socket on it and turn it in with the ratchet. By hand, of course. Don't use a ratchet on it yet. Just turn it in all the way down by hand first. And then you can snug it down. You're not going to snug it down too tight because you don't want to break it, because you screw it into a plastic plenum. Same thing here. All right. Next thing we're going to do is you're going to plug your plug back into the idle speed motor, and you'll feel it snap in place. And last, I wanted to show you the throttle body. The throttle body is all cleaned out. You can see, nice and clean now. So now we're just going to put our snorkel back on. I should say the air intake right here, hose, and then we should be ready to start it up. So remember, when you put your hose back on, make sure you put your tube back inside here that previously was removed when you took it off. So let's get this on here first. Push it on. And once you got it back in, put that hose in the back. It just pushes right in. No clamps required for that. You just push it in there. And tighten your clamps up right here. Same thing with this one here. Now remember, when you start it, you might get a little bit of smoking because of the cleaner that we've run into it. But it'll run for a second, it should clear right out. And then you'll need to drive it to the computer to relearn this idling procedure. So let's fire it up and make sure we're in good shape. Alright, it appears to be okay. When you start it up, your idle speed is supposed to jump up to about 1,500 RPMs, and as the engine warms up, the idle speed should come down to the normal range, which is probably somewhere around 800. So as it warms up, you can hear the idle starting to come down a little bit, and that's it. We should be in good shape. We're going to take it out, drive it, and it's going to go through its relearn procedure, and that's it. You'll be all set. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.